And another related question that was actually added is on frequency. And do you have any maybe tips for founders on how to increase that frequency?
I think one of the things that's important is like, are you nudging people in that direction, right? Because I think sometimes a lot of sites feel very transactional. And so how do you actually get it so that it feels like, hey, this is something I need to do every week? What is the right cadence, right? And, one of the things that, for example, a lot of shoe companies run into this. You buy one pair of shoes and then you're like, you're done. Like I have a pair of Rothy's and they're great. And then I bought a pair for my daughter and then I'm like, okay, I'm great. And I've had it for like 4 years now. And so I'm like, oh, there's a hole. Should I get another one? And I'm like, okay. So then I bought like three pairs of shoes for them. And they're great shoes, don't get me wrong. But I spent like $300 and they probably spent like $200 to acquire me, right? So like, and so I think, well, what, they're amazing shoes, but then what? And so then you have to have like, other lines and other things. And so you have to give people a reason to come back. One of the things that we did for Facebook Marketplace was actually our metric was not transactions or GMV. It was actually weekly active users. How many people are actually coming back to look? And the reason is because you don't buy a couch that often, right? Like, and we weren't sure how often people, but if you're coming back to browse, we call that potential energy. And so we were looking at, and because it's a browse marketplace, so there's like search marketplaces and browse marketplaces. Browse marketplaces are you just put stuff in front of people. And because it's Facebook, people just came and browsed because it was right there. And so one of the things that was really important in the browse marketplace was just how frequently they came. And so our metric was wow over MAU. That was it. And so we did not expand until WoW over MAU was sticky enough that we felt like people were browsing enough that if we put the right thing in front of them, they're going to buy it. And so we worked super hard on that first. We did not focus on transactions. We figured at some point you're going to need a car. But if you're looking, we're going to show you the car on that day, right? Because you're going to search at that moment. And so it was a very different metric. I think depending on, is it a dynamic marketplace? Is it like, a search marketplace? Like really thinking about where you sit in that category. There's just a bunch of like, you're not going to go to say Reverb unless you're going to go buy, you need an instrument, right? You just don't go browse unless there's like a group of people that might browse. But like there's other marketplaces like that sell collectibles where people will just buy an infinite number of collectibles. And so then it's really like engagement that's really important.